Good?
Awesome.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back to our little marketing show, I guess, or
Stats and
update.
what's going on, updates.
Yeah, yeah. It's now March. It's crazy. We're in plus degree weather, which is kind of nice and
Yes,
feels
it's fantastic out there.
good. Absolutely, yeah. We really didn't have that bad of a winter at all, did we? So
Well, those 3 weeks, I mean, that weather hurt.
yeah, that was cold, but we really can't complain.
We lucked out. No,
Yeah.
we absolutely have.
That's right.
So how's it going, Ben?
Yeah, it's been an interesting February.
Yeah.
Watching things pick up. I talked about it in January that it looked like the road to maybe a stable market, and sitting here today, I can definitely say we're probably there by April or May. Just looking at where things sit now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess just going into that quickly, I'll just ramble off some stats again. Last February this time, our list price to sale price, or closing price,
Yeah.
was right around that 96%, 96.4%. Again, single family homes is what I'm using.
Yeah.
And we're already up to 97.6%. So we're in that 2.5%
Yeah,
gap
yeah.
that I talk about, where that becomes more of a stable market. So
Oh wow, that's cool.
that is, it's good to see that it's getting there, and you can feel it when you just drive around. There's a lot more sale signs
Yeah.
out there, or sold signs, sorry, and not as many listings. We're almost half of what we were last year in the inventory department, which obviously plays a big role in why we're getting to a stable market, right?
So, question for you: how long has it been since we've been in a stable market?
Oh man, 2014 was our last year, and that was a seller's market for most of that year. So maybe 2015 when we started
Just
to
the
see a
beginning of
decline.
spring.
Yeah, that was maybe a bit of a stable market. But then from there on, we've been in a buyer's market for 5 full years for sure. It's been very depressing. So
Well, it's good for listeners right now.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
You know what? I find it being more balanced like it is.
yes,
People are certainly more motivated
yeah.
and understanding of the market where it's at.
Yeah, and I think when you look at it from a whole, it's starting to spread out. Like obviously Red Deer is going to have a better stats, but it's showing up in Sylvan Lake.
Yeah.
Like even our sales in Sylvan Lake were over double compared to last February, which
Wow.
is great. Almost 3 times really. So the sales, single family wise, and you again same thing. Just you drive down the street, there's a lot more sold signs,
Yeah.
and a lot of those listings. Most people are like, oh, that house has been on the market for years. It has, and now they're selling. So
Where do you think this confidence is coming from?
well, I think you've got the answers to that.
Do I?
I do, because I think part of it is I think people are getting comfortable understanding that they're not going to make the same amount of money they were, because most of us in Central Alberta are oil field related.
Yeah.
But I also think interest rates are that, and yeah, can you speak on that and just give us what's going on?
As everybody knows, it's no big surprise for the last 6-7 months. Interest rates have been hyper low.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 5-year fixed as low as 1.44.
Yeah, amazing to think. There's no way our parents ever saw something like that.
Oh, of course not. We never did.
Yeah,
I mean, in the last 10 years, when we see the lowest interest rate, it got down to 2.29, 2.39 as an average
Right.
for 5-year, and now we got 1% lower than that.
yeah,
Now, what happened? We've got a bulk of clientele in our office at Regional Mortgage. A ton of people that have pre-approvals. For the last 45, 60 days, people have been getting pre-approvals, even 90.
yeah,
And they're taking, finally, they didn't, there was that urgency, the market's kind of getting hotter, and they're finding that they want to move in the spring, and spring sprung, it feels like
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
right?
So, last 10 days of February, February 16th to the 26th, today's March 2nd, those last 10 days, the interest rates rose. One of the leading rate indicators is called the Canada 5-year bond.
Okay,
So it went from flat for 8 months, since April 10th last year. It was at 0.4%, give or take 5 basis points.
right, yeah,
It never went above a 0.50
right,
until last week.
right.
And it went up to 0.5, 0.6, 0.8,
Wow.
then over 1%. So that rates went up 0.6%. This is where the lenders essentially would buy their money from.
Okay,
That went up 0.6%, which last week a lot of people are getting that sense of urgency that these rates aren't going to be here forever.
right,
And it's, sometimes they don't believe us until they actually feel it.
Right, yeah, sure.
So there's been a lot of activity in the last week, that, oh, we better take advantage of these rates, and people have been able to understand the difference between a 3% rate and a 1.5% rate, and how much it affects them.
Right.
You're talking about a couple $100 a month in buying power.
Right, yeah.
And their own savings.
Yeah.
Plus the savings in buying the houses. I mean, it's come down a little bit, and it's more comfortable, and people are more comfortable in the position that they're at.
Yeah, sure.
So it's really exciting.
Yeah, that's good. And I think that is the reason buyers are kind of pushing now. They're going, oh man, like, what if our 1.9% is going to be a 3% or something like, or you know.
Before, well, pre-COVID, we were over 3%. It was 3.2%.
Yeah.
And once the market feels that everything's better, then we're going to see, like, everything's better than the vaccine rollout. The consumer confidence is going to come back in, and we're going to start seeing quick increases to the bond rate.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're not going to be here forever.
Well, and so do you think this little spike is going to stick around for a bit, or do you think it might level back down? Like, do you know?
Softened down.
It did.
So it rose up, and then it backed down 20%, but it went up 110%.
Right. Okay.
So 0.4 to over 1 to back to 0.8. So I think we're going to see lenders just kind of stay flat. Your average 5-year fixed right now is about 1.89, give or take 10 basis points.
And so does the Bank of Canada talk about seeing that interest rate spike some more?
The Bank of Canada has no prediction on that.
Okay.
That's the variable rate. That's the overnight leading rate. That's that one there. The variable rate you can still get out of 1.5%.
Right.
So now people are looking at variables again.
Right.
Because their prime, which is 2.45 minus 1.
Right. Yeah.
So you can still get close to that 1.5% level on a variable rate.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's still amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. And I think I don't want sellers to get antsy about saying, well, let's, bring the price up. Let's bring the price up. We're not in a market like that. And I don't know how long this stays stable. I want to stay positive because I like the attitude out there right now that things are much better. So I'm hoping that we have a great spring.
It's going to be a great spring.
Yeah.
Canadians have been sitting around, not being able to spend money. They need more bigger space for their houses.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of them are mandated to work at home, so they want more space. So
sure.
The move up group is getting more space in Canada.
Yeah.
And the first time buyers able to buy it a little bit more and get a little bit more capacity right now, because they've also been saving too.
Yeah.
Everybody's sitting on more money than they've been able to. Well, they can't spend it.
Yeah.
There's no entertainment money.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's probably part of it too. There's more people with more down payment than there used to be because they're not out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Budgets are certainly tighter, so they're able to get into more houses.
Yeah, that's great. That's good news. And like I said, to be having this conversation, I thought at least 3 months ago, I was still telling you that, the foreclosure rate's gonna implode and it's going to cause more damage to this market, but I really haven't seen the foreclosures.
No, CMHC admitted that yesterday, that they were mistaken on their deferrals,
right?
And they're mistaken that the housing correction of 9 to 18% that they predicted last March or April, they were incorrect on,
right?
Because they didn't realize the savings that Canadians could amass in the period of time, plus the capacity that Canadians needed more space in their houses, which lifted up the average housing prices in Canada, as opposed to going the other way, which they were talking about.
Well, and we obviously see it because most of us, if we watch the news, they all talk about Toronto's market and Vancouver's market, and all of a sudden they're in this heated market, and same with Calgary. Actually, is even much closer to us. Is in a really hot market right now. It's a seller's market. They're calling it there, which again to have those conversations just weren't. Yeah, we weren't thinking about that.
90 days apart.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a really interesting spring.
Yeah, good.
So, leading into your giveaway, Ben.
I'm hoping that we can get some likes and shares.
Yeah.
And then we'll throw somebody out a $25.
How about we do 2? You do 1 and I'll do 1.
Sure. Okay. Perfect.
2 shares. We'll pick somebody.
Well, why don't we do 2 people then? Why don't we give away 2 $25? Starbucks or whatever Starbucks cards, and
sounds great.
And let's get some activity, and hopefully some. I'd love to see some comments and some feedback as well. So
tell us what you want to hear.
Yeah, feel free to do that. Again, check us out on all of our social media platforms. We're around and look forward to some more comments and feedback. So
Okay, sounds great.
Right
See you
on.
next month.
thanks, guys.
Bye.